Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh. Thursday, I was feeling like crap, very weak. Didn't even have the motivation to like do anything. So I stayed home from work. Friday, I dragged my ass to the office. I'm still nauseous. I'm still gagging, trying to throw up, but there's nothing there. I get to work. Everybody sees me and like, why are you here? And I'm like, oh, it's really, office. If you work in an office and you are out 2 consecutive days, or if you go on vacation, like the catch up work is a lot. So I was like, yeah, just trying to be, a team player and yada, yada, yada. And my boss was like, we got it, go home. And I was like, all right. I went home. And I don't know what it is. It is extreme fatigue, um, nauseousness, yada, yada, yada. Did all the home tests I could take. The go-to is pregnancy test, not pregnant, no COVID. Um, my quality of sleep for the past couple of weeks has been bad. I'm waking up like extremely mucusy and stuff. So I think it was just like burnout and fatigue. Like I think literally my body was like, sit down and you need to sit down, and that's what happened. So am I 100% better today? No, but I'm definitely, my homeostasis is as such that I can be a productive citizen today. So that is that. Lots been going on. I can't sleep. I sleep as much as I can, but I can't sleep because I'm in some seasonal winter mental fog, depression, lack of sunlight, whatever you want to call it, that happens to me around this time of the year. Like changing of the seasons is very difficult. My body has like that kind of ADD. Like, oh man, this is it. Like I have a transition period that I have to go through. So like the fall and the winter transition, I think that's my body is just going through that. Um, so that's it. That's why I've been MIA for a little bit. And anything else going on in our world besides the Israel Palestine genocide that's happening? The algorithm on my social media, all of this stuff has been very pro Israel. There's this ad attacking Jamal Bowman because he is not standing with Israel. I get a lot of support Israel propaganda, um, like as commercials on my YouTube. And then recently, I've been getting a lot of pray with me ads. So I don't know if it's targeting to my area or targeting to me, because everything that I kind of subscribe to has been no religion is for me. But I think I've been like, had some cookies attached to me because I am a research based person. So although I don't subscribe to any form of religion or have any belief in a God, so to say, I do watch a lot of videos on people who do. Like I said, it's not a hate thing. I don't delete anybody's beliefs. I do want to learn them and see why you subscribe to it, pretty much. I'm a learned nigga. I like to do that. I like to research. I like to learn. So, it was also a thing for me. I watched this YouTuber blogger. She's very good. Her name is Voodoo Doll TV. And she does these educational Fridays, and she talked about discrepancies in the education we received based on research and truth that has come out and stuff like that. And things I didn't know. Like if you went to school in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, like I did, you were taught that Malcolm X was violent, his rhetoric was violence, and Martin Luther King was peace, and they didn't get along. And that was pretty much far from the truth. And then I was never taught that Martin Luther King talks about how he led his people wrong because he believed that with equality came economic stability, and the white people were like, yeah, we'll help you drink, eat at the lunch counter and drink from the water fountain, but no, we're not going to step in and help you get economic equality. No. And he has a whole speech about how he pretty much like, my bad, I thought it was all encompassing together, but it just looks like you're going to get equality as far as public spaces, but you're not going to get the housing, the access to the GI Bill, yada yada yada. And he talks about that, but why weren't we taught that? Well, you know why we weren't taught that. Let's just say we were not taught that. So anyway, she talks about that, and then also Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam. And I know this from the movie, the movie with Denzel and Malcolm X. I learned more about that than I did all the Black History presentations that I have to sit through my elementary school years. That he makes this pilgrimage to Mecca and realizes that there are non-Black Muslims, because he was, and then that he realized that the Nation of Islam was birthed from a white man, and that Elijah Muhammad, who is a biracial man, was doing all of these things as far as impregnating 12 and 13-year-old girls and not taking care of them, and then all of this. And then they bomb his house, and then he goes, do you have any idea who would do this? And he goes, I know who fucking did this. Anyway, I'm paraphrasing. But anyway, I love these educational things that she does. And like with anybody I listen to, some of the things I do not, some of her ideology I do not agree with, but that's okay. That to me, that has no bearing on it. Like, I'm not going to, and she says it, like, I'm not going to believe anybody blindly 100%, and you shouldn't either. And I appreciate that. But I say this to say, I always knew as an adult that education, and even now that I have children in the education system, and gifted programs are now being talked to about with my kids, and these things, and because they show a level of intelligence more advanced than their peers. And I'm saying to myself, everybody I know that was in these gifted and talented programs in the inner city, they're productive American servant citizens. They don't own their own businesses. Well, one does. One does. There are outliers, yes, of course. But the majority of us, including myself, we are worker bees. We have this sustainable teeter-tottering through the levels of middle class. We get up in the morning, get dressed, send our kids to school, go work 8 and 9 hours a day, go pick up our kids from school, do homework, dinner, bath, bed, and do the whole thing over again. We do our vacations once a year if we're lucky, and we're stuck in this rat race, rigmarole of mediocrity, subservientness. A lot of us go to church on Sunday and we follow the book blindly, and we do all of these things. And I'm saying, where is the individuality? Where is the fun? Where is it's just, we as a society put so much emphasis on intellect and being smart and being this, because that generates income for the economy. And I play this dance because I'm a capitalist. I love money. I like what money does. I like the ease and the comfortness that comes with having money, but at the same time, this is a necessary evil to keep the machine going. But I don't want it to be my kids. And yes, that is selfish, and all of these things you could put definitions to it. But yes, it is what it is. I I don't know if I fear. There's a fear in me that my kids will have their whole educational elementary school lives primarily focused on education, and the light that I see, the funniness in my son, the goofiness in my daughter, will be extinguished with academics. And that we will, they will succeed academically. They will play a moderate amount of sports, just enough to have these useless extracurricular activities to get into these grade A beef colleges, and they'll get some kind of scholarship, maybe full or partial, and they'll go to college, and I'll get whatever I get, and they'll be just like me. And for some people who had a different socioeconomic class, being just like me is the goal. I understand that. I get that. If you come from nothing and you live this life of poverty and struggle, having a life like mine is what you attain to. But I, like we say, want better for our kids. I'm already here. I don't want to. I can't say I don't want, because it's not my choice and my decision. But I don't. Me as a parent, I don't want to have my children make a lateral move. I want them to do something different. I I feel like my mother. I'm not the first to go to college. My mother has a college degree. My mother is very smart, very intelligent, and I feel like I made a lateral move with her, but um I'm a little bit higher as far as moves I made. Not necessarily money. I'm a risk taker. Risk taker. My mother is not. Right. So I've done things in my life that she wouldn't have done at her age, but I don't know if I would have taken these risks had I not had a partner, had I not been married, and had I not had a parent that I know would have my back if I failed. So, although I am a strong risk taker, my foundation is thick and solid. My mother's was not. So, I can't fault her for not taking these risks because her foundation was thin or pretty much non existent, right? Let me go. Okay. So, I feel like I'm giving my kids now a foundation strong, like I had, and with two people. So even stronger. But there's more of them. There's more kids, two parents. Hopefully my mother will be around. Their foundation will be even stronger. That they don't have to play it safe. That's a good word. Play it safe. I want them to take risks. I want them to do things that bring pleasure and maybe make money from that. Can I say I am living the dream? Absolutely not. That's why when you ask people, especially teachers or people in this profession that are on the same level I am, especially if they're white, oh, you answer the phone, you get through your niceties. Hey, John, how you doing? Living the dream. That is sarcastic. Like, an assistant principal in a middle school is not living his fucking dream. No, no, I'm not living my dream. 99.9% of the people I know, if you're listening to me and I have access to you, you are not in your fucking dream job. You're not. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. excuse me, more specifically a pediatrician because I wanted to be around babies because I was the only child. When I got older and I started the pre-med program, no, sorry. I did a pre-med program to see if I wanted to be a doctor. Did not want to do that. Knew that is not what I wanted to do. When I went to Hunter College, I was in a nursing program. I did a year of a nursing program and said, no way I cannot be a nurse. Changed to psychology and liberal arts because the time was going by and I needed to declare something. So I did psychology because I could get high marks and think that way. So that was entertaining for me. So I have a bachelor's in psychology. You can't do shit with that. Um, but I knew I didn't want to be a nurse because I tried to be a nurse. I knew I didn't want to be a doctor because I tried for a whole summer. I did a program at Villanova to get into what that meant, and I know not for me. So when I got older, that changed, and I wanted to be a hairdresser. I love doing hair. I was doing my mother's hair, and I wanted to do a hairdresser. Dream killer mama, shut that down. I had put my deposit down for Empire Beauty School, and I was shut down. Went back to college, got the degree I wanted. I am not living a job. Then another job was a food truck. I wanted to get a food truck because I like to cook. I knew I didn't want a whole restaurant. I wanted to move around. I wanted to be a food truck. I saw that movie came out about that man doing the food truck and how fucking exhausting it was. And I said, oh shit, you actually got to work these fucking food trucks. You got to work them. And then to find somebody you trust to keep it going, absolutely not. So now I don't know what the fuck I want to do except for live a soft life and wear Lululemon pants and be a kept wife. But then a part of me, when I was on maternity leave and I was home being a mother and a kept wife, I didn't want that shit either. So now I don't even know how to dream about what I want because I don't know what I want. And that's scary. That at 40, I will be 40 in a month and some change. I don't know what makes me happy or what would make me happy. Even starting this YouTube thing was a way for me to express myself without being cut off because no shade to the people that cut other people off when you talk because I do it. This was just a way to get all the fucking thoughts out of my head. It's like medicinal when you have too much. I think there's some people who have too much iron and too much stuff in their blood, so they have to go periodically, mostly men, to get blood taken out, or they make too many red blood cells or something like that. This was a way to get the shit out of my head so I could have room for other shit. So this is what it started out, and I thought about making it a business, but then I'm like, I don't really even want to do that either. So now I think I want to entertain and want to put on these events, but at the same time, like, people are, what's the word? They let you down. They're on board with things, but then they cancel and stuff. So I don't even think I want to deal with anybody or have a function or anything that is relying on people to come through because I'm jaded. So I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. And that is my biggest fear for my kids, is for them to not figure out what makes them happy besides candy and toys. I want them to figure that out first. And I'm scared that our society will delete the part of self-discovery and self-awareness that that you are supposed to get in your formative years. We are not going to put any energy on that, and we're just going to solely focus on academics because we need academically inclined people to get good jobs, make money, pay taxes, contribute to the economic stimulus of this country, and they won't be happy because they don't know what makes them happy. And what happens is, when you don't know what makes you happy, you gravitate towards instant gratification, substances, and or food. And that is what happened to me. Now that food no longer makes me happy or gives me happiness, even for a short amount of time, I find myself, when I was getting diagnosed, not having a diagnosis of depression. It was anxiety and intrusive thoughts, anticipatory anxiety and intrusive thoughts was my diagnosis, but it was not depression. And I think I need to be reevaluated since getting the surgery, because now I feel like there is some seasoning of depression. And I sit there reflecting on, why the fuck are you depressed? There's nothing. If you write down a list of everything that's going on in my life, there's nothing for me to be depressed about. There are little icks and hiccups and bumps along the way in my life, but really, I shouldn't be depressed. So something else is going on. And then I doing my self reflection and I realize I don't do anything that makes me happy. And you can go out and say, go do something that makes you happy. And I'll be like, what? Because I don't know. Don't have any idea. So what I'm going to have to do is step back a little bit and date myself. I have to date myself. I have to do things without my husband, without my kids, to figure out what I can do or what makes me happy, because food is not an option, alcohol is not an option, and drugs is not an option because it's not sustainable. I cannot get happiness from alcohol without it turning into a problem. I cannot get happiness from food without it turning to a problem. I cannot get happiness from drugs without it turning to a problem. So hopefully it's the gym. I'm really hoping that exercise and weightlifting and all of that stuff could be a level of happiness, because to me, that is the only thing that kills two birds with one stone. I get my happiness and my health all tied into one. But I've tried it and that ain't it. It gets the endorphins going, but it's unsustainable because I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy working out and exercising, right? I like the way I feel after. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. It's yucky. So, if anybody has any tips, or if you are around my age and you know what makes you happy, give me some ideas. Because I need to try them. I need to try them. There's this thing called Cardi had this little piece of show called Cardi Tries Everything. Nikki needs to try everything. I need to try it. All right, give me your suggestions on what I should try in the comments. Bye.